Welcome to our team call. I am really excited because I was trying to think of what would benefit you guys in terms of moving your businesses forward this month, and more so, something that I haven't told you yet, or maybe just hearing some tips from other people. So I thought, what better than to look within our team, and I found some rock star coaches that they are all rookies. They are somewhat new or very new to working their Beachbody businesses, and they are crushing it this month. All of them have Success Club points on the board, or they're at Success Club, so I'm really excited to introduce them to you. Before we get into that, I want to share my screen and just do some quick recognition, and I have some updates for you guys. So jumping right into the recognition, we've got Success Club first. Becca Strobel, or I think her name is Becca Grau. She has two last names. I don't know which one is correct, but she is at 18, you guys, right now. And insane, so amazing. And I think she signed up last month or the month before. So she's doing awesome. Chrissy McKenzie and Julia Haas are at 10. I think I spelled your name wrong. Lindsay
No, that's
Webb.
right.
It is right? Okay, perfect. Lindsay Webb and Sandy Knox are both at Success Club 8. Zoe Friedel, Chelsea Romano, and Zach Tennyson are all at 6 points. So they've already locked it in. Anybody else this month just goes more towards the growth of their team. And they say Success Club 5 is great, but you will grow at double the rate if you hit Success Club 10 every month. So something for you guys to aim for if you're not already there. Those of you that are almost at Success Club, we've got Nicole Faulkner, Jess Funk, Kate Tennyson, Julianne Lundy, Alex Gefter, Ashley Klein, Melissa Cutler, Amber Singer, Sarah Marshall, Gretchen, all the way up to Amber Singer, all with 4 points, so you guys just need one more person. And then all of these people help their first person. So just 2 more to lock in Success Club this month. Sarah Marshall, Gretchen Hawley, Amanda Lonis, Ashley LaSure, Kaylin Rhodes, Nicole Maston, Tiff Miller, Kara Decker, Taylor Winchester, Violet Parker, Jess Bridge, Heather Mann, Danelle Strang, Marcy Baranich, Paige DeMick, Justin Faulkner, Caitlin O'Connor, and Stephanie Garza. So congratulations to you guys. And for those of you that are not yet on this board, there is still a lot of time if you're doing the effective things, which is just posting, connecting, inviting, and following up. Do those, and you guys can totally hit Success Club this month. Quick recognition on the leadership ladder. Myself, Nicole Faulkner, and Ashley LaSure are at the team leader level. Team builders are Gretchen Hawley, Chelsea Romano, Carly Dunleavy, Nicole Maston, Jess Vunk, Brandy Mark, Tiff Miller, Lana Lawrence, and Ashley Robustiano. And we've got lots of business starters this month. We've got Sarah Marshall, Sandy Knox, Jackie Newberry, Brittany Wade, Jess Callahan, Shannon Metaraki, Lindsay Webb, Jennifer Gull, Erin White, Dolores Finnemore, Kara Decker, Samantha Tobias, Chrissy McKenzie, Steph Denovi, Kate Tennyson, Becca Strobel, Kate Clark, Heather Schwartz, Amanda Lonis, Mallory Flynn, Chelsea Knapp, and Lauren, her new last name is Himboldt. So you guys, this board is updated every single month. So what you achieve in September will be updated in October. So see where you're at now and see what the qualifications are to get to the next level, and that will be updated October 5th. Some really quick updates and reminders for you guys. We have a sneak peek into the Coach Life event tonight at 8:30. I'm just going to be going live, hopefully keeping it to 45 minutes, sharing more about what we do. Since it is tonight, if you have not yet invited people to it, I'm actually going to be inviting people tomorrow as well, and maybe even early next week. My invite, I'm just going to phrase it in the past tense. So say like or you guys could say, our team just hosted an event where you can learn the nitty-gritty details of what I do, and I'd love to add you in. Are you up for it? That sort of thing. And then they can watch it right away. They don't have to wait for 8:30 tonight. Colorado Retreat is up and running. We just created a message thread for those of you that started to qualify for it, which is hitting Success Club in August. If you also hit Success Club in September and October, and you hit Diamond Rank by October 19th, then you'll officially be invited to the Colorado Retreat with us. So stay tuned or check your messages to be invited, to see if you were invited to that. Clean Week, it launches October 3rd, you guys. I'm going to be inviting to it next week. lock in Success Club first before you start inviting to this, but I'm going to be inviting to it all next week and getting people hopefully to sign up right on October 3rd. And I will start that clean week on the 9th so that everybody gets their shakes in time. So if you're not familiar with it, check out the FAQs, lots of info there. And lastly, for those of you guys that are kind of feeling stuck right now, get back to the basics. The best tip I can give you, and you're going to get so many tonight, but the best tip I can give you is focus on inviting new people. Don't get hung up on the people that have not yet signed up, and do your follow-up. So my thing is invite like crazy this week and early next week, and then follow up with everybody the rest of the week next week. So hopefully that's as much talking I'm going to be doing tonight. We've got 3 amazing guest speakers, Jennifer, Julia, and Zoe, and I think that's the way that we're going to kick it off. So Jennifer, do you want to unmute yourself and share a little bit about you and how you've been crushing it lately?
Am I unmuted?
There you go, yeah.
Okay. I'm in a conference room at work, so I wasn't sure if anyone could hear me. Okay. So basically, what I've been doing is just, basically inviting. My platform that I use a lot is Facebook. I'm better with Instagram now, but I just find I get more feedback on Facebook. I also I friend 20 to 30 people every single day. Now I've been even going into my friends from the UK that have accepted my friendship. So I'm friending 10 of them a day. But that doesn't really have anything to do with where I'm at now. But, so part of it is to today, for example, I can tell you what I did today. I went through all of my Facebook instant messengers, and I literally had probably 50, 60, I don't know, a ton of conversations going where I could see that they got it, but I didn't see that they read it. And so what I actually did was I went, because these are people that were legitimately interested, I went on their profile page and I just sent them a message on there and just said, hey, so-and-so, I sent you a private message last month. I knew you were super interested. Let me know if you didn't get it or something like that, basically telling them to go to their private message. And I actually had 3 follow-ups on that, and I got one signed up today from that. Let's see. I do the daily task list that Ashley had given me. She gave me a sheet with tasks on it, and I try to make sure that every single day I do all of those tasks in the personal development and all of that stuff. So a big problem that I had, and recently, some of you are friends with me on Facebook and some of you aren't, was that I developed what's called this is so weird, oral allergy syndrome. It's a freak thing that only I would get. But it's basically if I eat a fruit or vegetable or something that touched a pollen or something and then was processed, I get sick, I throw up, headaches, hives, etc. So long story short, obviously I cannot drink Shakeology, and I, for the longest time, did not understand why it was bothering me so bad to the point where I was throwing up. So what I've been doing since probably for the last few months until I figured this out was I really promote the pre-workout, especially at work. So I know at work, I work at corporate America, and I know at work around every day, 2 or 3 o'clock, I see people going to the vending machine and getting candy and drinking another cup of coffee. And they see, I'm in sales, so I see a lot of people walking through every day. And I've actually started to hand out samples of that. And people are loving it. So I think I'm going to get a bunch of orders on that. The other thing that I do is whenever somebody says, oh, what are you doing? You look amazing. I always carry samples because I have Shakeology. I just can't drink it. So I always carry samples in my purse of it. And I will literally hand them a sample. And I did that for one guy, and his wife messaged me. I was like, this is amazing. Tell me more about the program. And she signed up. So I think the samples is like huge. Even if I have somebody come over to my house, and they're like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm like, you need some, Energize or whatever. You need to try this. And I'll put it in like a Ziploc baggie, a scoop of it in a Ziploc baggie. And they love it. Like they love it. So samples I find is like a big, big thing. I've gotten some good feedback and some orders from that. I also have friends at work that are really trying to lose weight. And like I said, they'll come up to me and be like, what are you doing? You look so good, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of tell them like about the program, and I offer them to work out with us at work as a work group. We have a gym downstairs. So there's a room with a door and a DVD player or whatever. And we go down there sometimes and work out. So we are held accountable kind of by holding a workout group at work. So those are just some of the things that I do. I just really try to promote it. I don't try to push it. I kind of wait for somebody to say a comment or make a suggestion or something to where I can like kind of like get in there and, promote it. But other than that, like that's what I've been doing, just really trying to get better on instant messenger on Instagram. I am finding a lot of people that are on there are already Beachbody coaches that are following me. So, but they don't, on their profile, you can't tell. So I would have never known. So I'm working on that, but just pretty much sticking with the daily tasks, inviting and friending like 30 to 40 people a day, like just so many. Just sit there and go through and look for people that like I would connect with, or people that have kids in their pictures that I could talk about mom things with. I friend them, and then we just start talking. Pretty much that's it.
I love it. You answered my question. I was just going to say, how do you find people? But you just answered that. Love the workout group. Love the samples. That's something that I'm trying to do too, because it's like if we can just get people to try it, they're obviously going to love it. So like the more samples we can either try, I've been actually charging people for Shakeology samples, but whatever works, I think.
Well, I have a bunch, so
yeah, you have to give them away. 2 questions for you. One, I feel like people are going to ask for the daily tasks list. Would you mind sending that to me, and then I can upload it with the recording?
Yeah, I can do that.
Cool.
And there was she gave me 4 different versions. If you want, I can find them, because I know everybody works a little differently, so I'll send you them.
Sure. And then you said in the beginning that you have like so many conversations going, like 60 or 70 or something. So a question that I get asked all of the time is, how do you start your conversations? Did they like one of your posts, or did you just decide to message them? What are your tips on that?
So for example, on Instagram, I will say something to the effect of, oh my God, like your page is super inspiring, totally inspired me. How do you do it with X amount of kids? I'm in the middle of my fitness journey as well, something like that. And then they basically like respond right back, and we just start talking. Facebook Messenger, I do the people that like my post on my page. So like when I do like a post, and if they like it, I will reach out to them and say, thank you for liking my post. Were you just being supportive, or, were you ever interested in something like this? I could explain it more to you. And a lot of times they do want to hear about it. Sorry, somebody was calling me.
I think she's probably.
So that's how I do it on Facebook Messenger. So I really look for the inspiring people on Instagram, the mommies. And then on Facebook, I just kind of friends of friends, people refer, or if they like my post, then I'll reach out to them.
Awesome. So simple. You just do it. Awesome. Any more questions for Jennifer? Because I know she has to get back to work. I don't know if you can stay on the whole call. So any questions off of what she does? Oh, Ashley says she loves the samples thing. Okay. I'm out of the view. There we go. Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Jennifer, for all of those tips. I literally took 5 things down, everything that you said that I should be doing more of. So great job. Let's move on to Julia. Hold on, I can unmute.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Jennifer. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Julia.
So that was really useful what Jennifer had. I like that she had with like, this is what I do. Here I go. I don't think I'm quite as specific with it. It's more of a story, I guess. That's okay. Story time with Julia. So I'm from Wisconsin, but I've been living in London now for 4 years. And I became a Beachbody coach. Did we decide it was the 14th of August, I think, is when I signed up. And I've heard a lot of coaches say this, that they sign up kind of in one of the most chaotic times of their lives, it seems like. And you're like, yep, I needed another thing to add to my life. Yeah. So I did it, but I didn't really get involved too much until about the 28th of August. So it's not like, it was like a month ago. I actually just, it's not updated, but I think I'm at SC12 now. I just got one more. So that's exciting.
Yay! That'll update. It's 24 hours, so tomorrow.
Yeah, it was just a day. But essentially, I think the biggest thing is that Peanut Butter and Bicycles is my Instagram, and it's been something that I've been growing for a while. And so I think that's probably a big part of my success is I've already been sharing my story for a while around health and fitness, and I've put a lot of time and intention into that Instagram. And I do a bit on Facebook, but I've only really just opened a Facebook page kind of in the last, like, since the summer, I think. But I've decided to really focus on Instagram because Instagram is moving quite quickly and growing so quickly. So I came to London to do my master's in health promotion. So I've had an inherent interest in health and wellness for a long time and chose that sort of as a career, really. But Peanut Butter Bicycles came out of like, I wanted to do some consulting work, but then life changed and it didn't really happen. And it just ended up being sharing recipes essentially. So that when you came to me and like, this opportunity came up, it just made a lot of sense because I'd been thinking since this past summer that I really wanted to monetize Peanut Butter Bicycles more and actually be able to help people in a bit more of a real way than just like sharing, inspiring, maybe for me, posts. And so I think since this summer, it was June, that I became a lot more intentional with my Instagram. And I was actually just looking back since the 19th of June, I remember it was specifically like the beginning of June, I had like 460 followers on Instagram. And I started like listening to a lot of webinars and doing a lot of training in social media and just being way more intentional about the way that I posted. And now I'm at like 950. And so I would say that has been a big reason. The intention behind that social media outlet for me has been the big reason that when this came up, I was already talking to people in this way around sort of health and wellness. And so it was a really sort of like natural progression in a lot of ways. So I would say like with Instagram, some things that I've really learned in sort of like following that wants to go on a journey with you is to be really authentic, I guess, is the thing that I'm learning. And it's something that I take really seriously. And I remember when I signed up to be a coach, I was looking at all these different like trainings and like everyone had their Facebooks and like different ways that they did things. And I was like, like, I'm not really sure if I'm comfortable with that. Like, it doesn't really feel like me. I don't know if I really fit in here. And I'm like, I just can't envision myself doing that. And I was like, well, let's just try to like do this by my values and see how that goes. And so I'm really intentional in the way that I post. And it as always, when I post something, it always has a story and it always has a purpose to serve for like my ideal client, really. And so that's a bit time consuming, to be fair. But I've been really intentional about posting almost every day on Instagram. And also being like really, I think a lot about how I'm posting and how I'm speaking, and that I'm being open and I'm being vulnerable about my own struggles and what I'm doing. And so actually my first client was someone I've never met before. And she messaged me after I had posted something and said something along the lines of like, if you'd like some help, like making healthier choices with meal prep or whatever, I can't remember exactly what it was. She actually reached out to me, and we had sort of relationship on Instagram anyways, just like she commented and liked on stuff, a lot of mine. So it was really like actually quite natural, which so it was quite different than the normal like reaching out to someone and being like, hey, it was actually that like, I'm just really intentional about the story I'm telling and being vulnerable and really keeping it real, I guess, like that I'm like just a human who's trying to make room for wine and cheese too, you know? And so I guess like, I think everyone has so many tips and there's like so much out there. And it's like kind of all in like different ways, but I think it's about being really intentional about the way that you come across and being open and vulnerable in the way that you're comfortable with, but also being really consistent. Cause yeah, that's made a big impact on like how much, like Instagram has grown for me, but also it's not just about like numbers by any means. It's about that people are connecting and coming on like a story with me. And so the other people that I have connected with, the other 5 people who have gotten to my group, because this is the first time I've ever had a challenge group. It's starting on Monday. Holy shit. Is all family and friends. But because I've been having this conversation with people and they've seen my journey for a while, it was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, I'm really excited because now I have a tool for you. Like, it's not just about like me sharing a few recipes in my blog or something. It's actually like, I have ways that you can work out and I'm going to support you. And I love that. Like, I love that I get to support people and affirm them and just like tell them how amazing they are all the time. Like, that is amazing. I had a meeting with the client earlier and I was like, so what are your goals? Like, oh, I'm so excited for you. Like, so yeah, I think it just is basically me being super excited, essentially. And when people are like, how are you? I'm like, let me tell you. And it's honestly like, of course, I think that they would probably really like it. But some people I've reached out to who are just kind of like friends of those friends. And I know that they love each other and they want to hang out with each other. And so I've been like, hey, I'm doing this with so-and-so. You want to get in on it? And they're like, yeah, cool. Like, so, I mean, essentially it's just about being like really open, I guess, is the biggest thing of mine. And being honest with the struggle with real life. But yeah, connecting people I think is a big one too. Like it's nice to create a community where you can connect people. So those aren't really specific tips. I think the biggest thing, like I said, is just be like keeping it real. And I remember I really liked the Goal Digger podcast, GOAL by Jenna Kutcher. She's like from a really creative perspective, but I totally dig her essentially. I remember her specifically saying like, when you're posting, make sure that you're posting to serve your clients. And I really loved that approach. And so I've taken that on board in the way that I talk, I guess, on social media. And as far as like people that I'm reaching out to, I'm not just sitting back and waiting for everyone. I'm mostly right now focusing on people who've recently followed me, and then I follow them back and then message them, and I'm just like, oh my god, thanks for the follow. Like, I really love like XYZ about you, this page. Like, are you also into fitness or like peanut butter? That comes up a lot in my conversations, as it turns out. Yeah, and then that kind of just goes into a conversation. So
I love it.
Yeah, there you go.
I got a lot of specific tips out of it. I love the be intentional one because I'm following this new girl and that's something that she said. It's like, it doesn't matter. And you just said the same thing. It doesn't matter like how many people you have if they're not like on the journey with you. And I see so many coaches, not even just on our team, like coaches in general, that are just like, they take a picture of their lunch and they say, this is my lunch today. You know, or they say, or that's it, or they say like lunch vibes or loving my carbs today. Just like so short and sweet. But if you go to Julia's picture, it's peanut butter and bicycles, and you'll see like exactly what she's talking about. It's like always like she might include a recipe, but also like why she made that or how it made her feel or something like that. So I love that. I think we could all do a little bit more of that, even though it does take a little bit more time, because I think it'll really build that loyalty, you know. Gold Digger wrote that down, so I'm going to listen to that.
An awesome podcast.
Is it?
Yeah, I've got a massive crush on her. She's awesome. She just oozes authenticity, which I just really appreciate.
I love that. And also your whole thing about being excited, that's totally a thing. Like Brendan Burchard says, like most successful people live and act joyously. So like when people like ask you about what you're doing or even how you're doing, the more joyous you are and how joyous you are in the activities you're doing too. You know, successful people are joyous and excited about it. So I love that. And I don't even know if you knew it, but like that's such a good tip to when somebody asks how you're doing, say I'm doing awesome because I'm starting this group, you know, like lead right into it. I've never even thought of that, but it's just like such a good opener.
I pretty much am always talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, this is really exciting. Because people ask me about how peanut butter and bicycles is going a lot now. They'll be like, oh, I saw you were eating this or you were doing that. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Actually, there's a really cool development with PB&B. Nice. And it's a really easy opening.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Any questions for Julia? You can type them in or unmute yourself.
I guess, so you kind of asked me a little bit about the UK. I don't know if anyone has the questions as I have been living. Oh, thank you. I have been living in London for a bit. So if you're like, just want to message me if you have any specific questions or anything about these crazy British people I surround myself with, just let me know.
Yeah, I might ask you to do like a whole training for us, or like, or maybe not a training, less intense, like go live and just share like.
Yeah, there are a lot of cultural differences, that is for sure.
Yeah, like don't they eat really weird things for breakfast or like different things than what we do?
Yeah, there are a lot of kind of different diets, that's for sure. I mean, London's so funny because it's so diverse, so it's like anything goes. But yeah, there are still foods. I've lived here 4 years. People will be like talking about a biscuit, which is essentially a cookie that goes with tea daily. And they'll be talking about like their favorite biscuit. And I'm like, I've never heard of that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, there's so much weird stuff. But then they don't have like a lot of ingredients that we have in the United States.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
So yeah, we'll need to be cautious of that with like meal plans and stuff that we provide. If we say biscuit and they think cookies, or if we use ingredients they don't have.
Yeah, and I like with the recipes that I put up, because my main audience is here and then in the States, like I always put up in using cups and grams and milliliters as well, so that it's kind of accessible for everyone. Because it's really a pain when you find a recipe that you want to make, but then you have to do the conversions yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I skip over those recipes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, next. Yeah. Let's try writing them. That's a pain.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks again. Are you going to stick around or do you have to hop off?
I think I might go to bed. I actually have quite a long day at work tomorrow. All
right. We'll sleep tight and thank you so much again.
Get in touch if you have any questions. Seriously, I'm on PB&B.
Awesome. Have a good night. Thanks, Julia.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. All right. Last but not least, we have Zoe. Yeah, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello. So coaching was like, it's funny because Ashley is my boyfriend's cousin and Andrea married my boyfriend's cousin. So when I would go to the lake in the summertime, I always like, I knew what they were doing, but I didn't really know what it was. And they would talk about it. And I was like, that just sounds like fun. Like, it just sounds like really fun. So I started, and then I don't know, like, I think I started with the mindset that I wanted to like really work it. But then I realized like, it wasn't just easy. Like, it wasn't just going to happen. Like, people weren't just going to come to me and be like, oh, I want to do this with you right now today. And so like, I realized that pretty quickly, and I got really discouraged from it, and then I stopped. I just didn't really do anything for like a long time. And I actually texted Ange, and I was like, I'm really busy with school, and I just don't really think I want to do it anymore, blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, I just was constantly seeing them do it, and I was like, I can do this. Like, I know I can do this. So I just started being like really consistent. And then I think Facebook isn't really my, like, I don't really get much from Facebook. Instagram is kind of like my base for everything. But I was like, as soon as I really started to like post, like do exactly what they were telling me, it's like they set me up to succeed, yet I still just wasn't doing it. Like because like I didn't really post on Instagram that often. And it was like, I don't know, I felt weird because like kids my age were like, oh my gosh, you can only post on Instagram once a day. Like, oh my gosh, like you're posting a story with you just talking about something, like how dumb. And so I was just like, felt weird with doing that. But then as soon as I just did it and I was like, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this to help other people. And so like once I got that consistency down and I was posting every single day and just like being like Julia said, like just being like real with people and not just showing like on my Instagram stories. Instagram stories is kind of like, I get everything from there. I get people basically all through my stories. That has been very successful for me. And it's not even just posting my workouts and stuff. It's posting like just what I do. Like if I'm with my friends and like something funny happens, I'll like post about it, or just, I don't know, like just like my basic everyday stuff. Cause that starts connections with people. And so someone would say like, oh my gosh, like that was so funny, or your dog is so cute or something. And then it just gets that conversation going. And then so and then when I'm looking at Instagram stories and someone's doing the same thing I'm doing or likes the same, it just starts a conversation. So like, and also through my hashtags, I've gotten a lot of like good stuff and it's really stupid stuff that I hashtag. Like one that I talk about all the time is like the show The Office, because that show is like, I'm like obsessed with it and I think it's so funny. And so I've like quoted things from The Office on my hashtags, and I've like gotten people that like then we just talk about certain episodes for like an hour or whatever, but it just leads into them like starting to like my pictures, and then they'll eventually come back and be like, oh, like that looks really fun or whatever. And I'm also in like an office group on Facebook. I'm like a total nerd about The Office. It's weird. But that has been like super helpful for me. Facebook isn't really like when I post my pictures and stuff that the same ones I post on Instagram, when I put them on Facebook, I just get like the same likes, and it's usually like my mom and like just no one different really. And I do add people, I add people all the time, but it just, I never really get like I do when I have new followers on Instagram. It's just much more easy to talk to people, I guess. But I did do a few Facebook like event pages for my challenge groups, I have had a few people off that when you just like make it public and just invite a bunch of people. I have had luck with that, but I'm trying to think. And then when I do use scripts, like we were talking about that earlier, like I have used some of the scripts that people give me, but it's not like, I use them to like an extent. Like if I'm having like a different conversation with somebody just about something different, and then like it leads into it. Sometimes like with the way that person talks and the way we're having a conversation, sometimes like I don't want to use a script because it almost sounds too scripted sometimes. So sometimes I'll just word it like differently depending on the way the conversation's going. And then I don't know. So that's kind of mixed. I use the scripts that are given a lot, but at the same time, like if it doesn't seem like the right situation, like I don't do it. I just have like a natural transition into it. But I don't know. That's like basically I've had more luck just sharing random things about me and like the things I do during the day than like actually like people responding to even my stories about like my workouts and stuff. Like I get more, like yesterday I was having problems with my phone, like messages were coming through and I just couldn't, like they were coming through to my phone, but I wasn't getting a notification. So I posted about that, seeing if anyone could help me. And I had a lot of people like help me with it, and is now fixed. So it's like stuff like that people get back to me on, but like people don't message me back on my workout and be like, oh, this is cool. Like it's just because you can't make a conversation out of that. So then like, I don't know, but at the same time, I'm still showing them what I'm doing, but that's not like my basis of conversation. So I think it's like really important just to share like everything you do, like when you do go to school, and like or work or like whatever you do, like do everything. Or like, you know, if you go out to dinner with your friends, like post a picture about it, just like to make people think that you're not just this like robot salesperson that just wants you to like talk to them about one thing. And like, so like, that's what I've learned. That's pretty much like all I've done.
So I have a question. I get asked all the time, when you do start talking about random stuff like The Office, what is your approach to convert that conversation into an invite? Do you like wait for a specific time, or do you just go in for the invite? What's your strategy for that?
Well, usually like if it starts out as just a normal conversation, I'll talk to them about something completely not Beachbody related, like for like a day or whatever, if we're talking, and then I'll use them kind of as like a follow-up, like, and I'll follow them and I'll see like if they're like posting every day. And then, so like if they post a lot and I notice that they're posting a lot, then I'll say something like, hey, like I see you, like you're really into like sharing what you do and your page is like super fun. And then I just kind of like bring it in that way. So like I don't really, I don't know, like it's kind of like sometimes I just kind of like pop the question if they're really social and they're keeping the conversation going with me and they like actually want to talk to me and it's not just like a quick little stupid conversation, then I'll kind of be like, you're good at talking. You're a social person. You like this. And then I'll just say like, are you into like health and wellness and stuff like that? And then it'll just like, I don't really know. It's kind of different with everybody. But I usually don't do it like the first conversation. I won't say anything. And I'll just kind of watch their page and see what they do. Because like this one girl that I got to sign up, it started as we met in the office like Facebook page that I had. And then I followed her on Instagram and I was just seeing like she would post like every day, like a picture of her coffee in the morning. And then like later that day, she'd post a picture of her like going on a run or something like that. So she just seemed like somebody that was like shared it just to do it. And like just, I don't know. So then I would then lead into it that way and be like, so like I see that you share your life and you like are obviously social. You like to talk to people. You like to show people what you're doing. So I just think, you know, this could be something that you're really good at.
I love it.
So
one thing that I was going to ask everyone, and then the other two hopped off. So you're the lucky person that gets asked this. How do you track all of your conversations?
I use a notebook, literally a plain notebook, and I have little sticky note tabs for like different things. So like I probably should like just get a book that's kind of more organized, but I haven't. But it's like it's just a plain college ruled notebook paper, and I just have like on a few pages I'll have like my follow-ups with like a sticky note tab so I can flip to what I'm doing, but it's just writing it down. I've tried to do stuff on the computer and it's just not, because I forget to do it on the computer. And so like when I'm in my room, I see the notebook right next to my bed. So then I'm like at night, I just write everybody down. And then in the morning I flip right to the page on who I need to follow up with that day. And that's just the easiest for me.
Perfect. Yeah, I have a couple coaches that like they can't get into any of the online stuff. They just like have to write it down.
Yeah, I can't.
Perfect. All right. Any questions from anyone? No. I mean, I got so many tips. I love your tip about the random stuff on Instagram. I think so many people are just like, just your workout and then your shake and then, you know, preview of your accountability group or something. Like it's so business.
Right.
And anytime I have done something random, like I never really brushed my hair. And so I got this special brush that was to, here I am talking to people that like love hair and stuff. I got this like brush that was supposed to like bring out like the tangles in your hair or something, and it like got stuck in my hair. So I was just posting about that and I was like, what brush should I be using, or like what is the best like spray and conditioner or something. And that was like the one post that like so many people reached out to me, and I was like, oh, so this is what people like, not my typical morning routine, you know. So for especially the people listening to the recording, what is your Instagram name so people can go and watch your story? Zoe.
Hold on. Sorry, my computer just like the whole screen like flashed in and out. It's just, and I don't know what just happened. It's just Zoe Friedel. That's it. Just my name.
Perfect. I didn't know that's how you said your last name.
Yeah, everybody says it differently.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Zoe, for your tips, and thank you guys for hopping on. Lots of tips were shared tonight, so I want you guys to hopefully share this recording with your teams. Just tag them in the recording, or copy the link and send it to them. I think that this is super helpful. Even I got tips that I don't do, or I don't do as often as I should. So I'll be posting that tonight, and thank you again. I hope you guys have an awesome night. Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.